Hello and welcome to Headline News. I'm Raychel Harvey-Jones and today I'm joined by Senator Ben Cardin. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Rachel, it's a pleasure to be with you.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm not so excited for the parking situation in DC, but maybe that's a whole other show, a whole other topic.
Well, you know, there is a struggle with parking, but as you know, there's a struggle in Hagerstown with some of the traffic problems there. So it's,
and that's exactly where I'd like to start. Obviously, you're part of several subcommittees. Firstly, transportation and infrastructure. Now, you've always been very vocal about improving public transportation in general across the state, and more recently, especially safety when it comes to public transport. Whenever I hear this, I always feel it's very city-centric. What are you doing to implement or improve the transportation, public transportation in particular, out to some of the more, well, really seemingly remote areas such as Hagerstown?
Well, Hagerstown's not really remote today, as you can tell by the traffic that's on your roads, that it's a very popular place for people to live. A lot of people will work in Hagerstown. Many will commute to both Baltimore and Washington. So it's a very popular area. I look at the transportation programs, whether it be public transit or our highways and our bridges, as a program to help us with job growth. It makes America more competitive. It gives us the wherewithal to create more job opportunities. In today's economic environment, we need to create more jobs. So yes, we are trying to make it easier for companies to locate in Hagerstown because of the transportation, so workers can get to and from work. We also make it easier for commuters who happen to be traveling to other areas, such as Washington or Baltimore, to be able to get there in a timely way. All that, I think, helps the quality of life, and it helps our economy.
Well, you say that it's not remote. When you say that, you know, you're next to two of the most beautiful cities in the country, Baltimore and DC, yes. Two of my favorite for sure. But when you look at the public transport in and around DC and Baltimore, and okay, it's a much more vast, densely populated area compared to somewhere like Hagerstown, you know, I don't know about improving the public transport, but in many cases implementing it.
Well, no, clearly the commuter rail, for example, is an area that is important to a community like Hagerstown, but it's mainly the roads that have become the real critical issues, not just the interstate roads, which are vital, and you know how they will clog up, particularly on a Friday afternoon, or for that matter, just about every afternoon.
Right.
But also the internal roads that help economic growth. Washington County, Hagerstown is one of our growth areas. Businesses want to locate there, but they have to have the transportation infrastructure in order to be able to get to where they need to. You know, we have the Mount Etna Tech Park. They need roads in order to connect it to the areas around there. So it's a matter of having the infrastructure in place. If we do, we're going to see the type of job growth in Hagerstown that I think the people want.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because as if we'd rehearsed this, I was going to segue on to the 81, you know, and the increase. I was unable to obtain any clear statistical data on the amount of traffic growth that particular road has seen, but it feels like almost weekly we're looking at some pretty serious, often fatal collisions on that road due to the high density of trucks that are now using that route. We've seen some areas of the 81 extended and expanded. Are there plans to expand further?
Oh, absolutely, but 81 is a vital road for the commerce of our nation. It is one of the major interlinks between communities, and so you're right. The traffic volumes have increased all the time. We are looking at ways to try to make it safer and to make it easier, less tie-ups, etc. The difficulty, of course, each one of these projects are rather pricey. It's really a little expensive. We need to pass a transportation reauthorization bill in Washington. The United States Senate has done that. We need to get this out of a conference committee and to the President for signature. That would give us better hope that projects such as improving Interstate 81, in fact, could be moved along the process.
Right. So it's one of those, we've put the idea out there, we just need to actually get moving on it. Talking about transport, although taking it a little further, Hagerstown, when you fly into many large areas in Texas and Los Angeles, you can drive 45 minutes, an hour away from LAX to get to Orange County or Santa Monica. Do you think that we're doing enough with the airport? I know that we've got this subsidy and we hope to keep that subsidy. What more can we do? Because this airport is so close to two major cities.
Well, that's true, but it's still a vital link for the economy of that western part of our state. So the essential air service that they qualify for, that I worked hard on, other members of our delegation worked in order to maintain that, allows the Hagerstown Airport to be able to have a vital link with commercial flights as well as being able to have passenger flights. So it does allow many of the companies that are related to the air industry, or just to be able to get their CEOs into the region. It becomes a very important part of our economy. It's true, if you want to go to Europe or you want to go to a particular place, you're not going to fly out of Hagerstown. But Hagerstown should be able to provide the air support so that companies that need that type of service can feel comfortable to locate in Hagerstown. You look at some of the defense companies that are looking there, the high-tech companies, they need air service, and we're proud that we have that airport there.
Well, I know that Ocean City has just received funding, some additional funding.
Yes.
Why not? Why can't we fly out of Hagerstown to Europe? I would love that.
Well, yeah, I've been very much supportive of improving many of our regional airports. You're right, Ocean City has an important need. We've worked with Frederick. They got a new tower up at Frederick. We're very proud of that. That's going to help that community. So we've worked with many of our smaller communities to make sure that they have adequate service at their airports.
It's interesting. Now, I know that we want to talk a little bit about the Mount Etna project, and we will do that in the second half of the show. What I wanted to clarify with you was the recent changes in the Essential Air Service subsidy. How do they now benefit Hagerstown? I mean, will they hold on to their subsidy moving forward?
We're going to fight to make sure that happens. It's jobs. I mean, how it benefits is jobs. People will, if you have a viable airport, it means that you're much more competitive to be able to get companies that want to be near an airport. If you don't have essential air service, if you don't have passenger service, it gets more difficult to maintain the type of activity at your airport that becomes important so that you can have that service for companies. So that's what we're able to do for Hagerstown. It does meet, we think, the standards for essential air service. It's viable from the point of view of cost. Its cost per passenger is very competitive for those who have this designation, and we believe we'll be able to continue it. We should.
It's a fantastic airport. I can't think of many in the country where you can actually go, first of all, and park free. I mean, I think it's such an undeveloped tool of Hagerstown right now. We'll see you after this short break.